All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. This time we want to look at the Inspiron 14 laptop, which is at the point in time of June 2024, the cheapest laptop that I could find, 14-inch laptop that I could find on Dell.com. So let's have a look at this laptop and see if it's something that I would recommend or not. So the first thing we want to look at is, of course, the price says $499. Not bad. Not the cheapest, but I mean, it's 14 inches, which is a nice form factor for when you want to travel and stuff like that. It's a little bit less than the 15, which I have to tell you, 15 is sometimes a little too big. For example, I would recommend 14s for like if you have to use your laptop inside of a car. It does help the space between you and the steering wheel. Obviously, do not use your laptop while driving. I'm talking about, like, you know, if you are waiting on someone in your car and you want to use your laptop, that's enough space there. 14 inches is better than the 15 for that. Anyways, let's look at the processor. This will give us a sort of an idea if the processor is fast enough and will perform good on this, on this laptop. And I was actually pleasantly surprised. I looked this up on something called Passmark. So this is, tech people are going to be like really retentive about this if you're going to say like, no, you can't check the Passmark for it. But yes, the Passmark actually does give you a little bit of an idea. For the layman's that are viewing, it gives you a basic idea of how the performance will look like. And I would say that anything over 10,000 is pretty good to run Windows, to run Office and stuff like that. And so this laptop, it comes with 13th gen Intel Core i5-1335U, which really doesn't mean nothing because there's so many different processors out there. So the best thing is to just take that processor, take like the i5 part and just Google Passmark. And that's what I did. And I was pleasantly surprised to see that it was 16037. It seems that AMD has pushed Intel to try to get to a better point. And that's really sad, actually. It's actually sad that Intel would not release the stuff and innovate if it wasn't for AMD being there. But anyways, that's beside the point. I don't want to get too much into it, but like, yeah, not a fan of Intel. But anyways, this is a fast Intel processor, and you should expect to see pretty good performance with for Windows. And if you're doing the office work, it should be more than fine. In fact, this should do more than that. You should be able to do some video rendering. It won't be the fastest, but it's not the slowest by any means. There's machines that I have a machine that is 5,000 on the Passmark scale. So I could tell you that you're pretty fine. You're pretty fine with anything over 10,000. For most cases, you should be totally fine. A kid or a student should be absolutely fine with this, with the performance of this processor. But anyways, it's really a combination of the processor and all the other hardware, and I'll get to that. But the laptop itself, I don't particularly, I have to say, like the color of this laptop. I don't particularly like silver laptops in general. But if it doesn't matter for the price and it being the cheapest on the website of Dell, yeah, you could probably go with it. And it does come with the operating system being Windows 11 Home. That is totally fine for when you're working at home. You shouldn't have any issues. I don't think you'll have much limitations if you're working at home. However, if you're a business person and you're going to be connected to Active Directory and stuff, you might want to take the Pro. It is expensive. It is expensive. This is so annoying. Honey, it's so annoying. Yeah. If it's for business purposes, you might want to go with Windows 11 Pro for Active Directory, meaning that like if you actually Active Directory might not be just for Pro, but like Pro would have some additional features. What features is that? I think some additional, I don't know what are features, but it is, if you do choose Pro, that the price will go up to $559, which I find was a bit unreasonable to pay for an upgrade to Pro. So what you could probably do is you could probably buy Home. And you could go online and look for websites that sell keys, like retail keys. And usually those are a lot cheaper. They're like $15 US. And you just put those keys in, assuming they're legitimate, of course. And you should be able to upgrade for cheaper than what Dell is offering. It does come with, I believe this is Intel Iris Xe. This is going to be like a built-in graphics card. All right. And I don't see, as you can see, there's not much options, right? So the processor didn't have an option. The graphics card didn't have an option. I wouldn't I have a feeling this is not going to be good for obviously like real hardcore gaming. Obviously, most onboard graphics, which I think this is not going to be for serious gaming. But if again, if it's for like schoolwork, stuff like that, you should not have major issues like that. I didn't really look up this. We could probably look this up live and see what this the benchmarks look like. But again, it's not going to really say much unless you compare it with, you know, something else. And this doesn't really compare. Oh yeah, it does actually compare something. So yeah, so I mean, it's quite low compared to like a dedicated GeForce RTX, but these are like for more like for serious gamers and stuff like that, right? So you know, this doesn't mean anything for a non-gamer. This Iris Xe should work fine for your laptop doing your basic stuff, no problems whatsoever. It does come with 18 gigabytes of RAM. That's a little bit low nowadays. Like, I mean, it would be better, of course, to have 16 gigs of RAM. I would always recommend, if you're going to be using it for work and you're going to have like a lot of research papers open and that kind of thing, or a lot of office documents open, get the 16 gigs. Of course, this one doesn't seem to have that. And it also says that it's on board. So I think maybe this is like welded into the motherboard itself and not replaceable. So it might not be upgradable either. But 8 gigs is fine. Again, for student purposes, you should be totally fine with this. It does come with a very nice amount of storage, 512 gigabytes of storage. That's fine. Windows usually takes about 100 gigs now, like when it does upgrades and stuff like that, 50 to 100 gigs. So it gives you like about 4/5 of the space to have. And it is a PCIe NVMe drive. It does say SSD, but it's NVMe, so I'm assuming the NVMe drives would be at least 500 megabytes per second. So that is like, that should be totally fine. Even if it's megabits per second, it should be fine. So the performance on this laptop, I would expect that this laptop would be able to boot at within 15 seconds or less. Which is awesome nowadays, right? So the boot times are good. It does come with the 14-inch FHD 1920 by 1200. I mean, basically a standard fine HD monitor with 60 hertz. So again, what does 60 hertz mean? 60 hertz means that it will do basically 60 frames per second. That's faster than a lot of TVs, unless they're new age TVs. So like, you know, long ago, a normal TV would go at 30 frames per second. So this could do double the frame rate. So it means that you could watch some videos at 60 frames per second, and you know, it's going to be a little bit more realistic and smooth and stuff like that. Yes, it should be fine. If you're a gamer though, and you want like 120 auto lock, obviously this is not a gaming laptop. So it does have 250 nit. The nit is the brightness, and it's going to be really tough for me to compare this, but let me I have a Lenovo Ryzen 4500U laptop, and let's see what the nits are for this, and so I could compare it and give you an idea. All right, so the Lenovo has 300 nits. I will tell you, therefore, since this is 300 nits, this is not very bright. 250 is not very bright. You won't probably be able to see very well with this touchscreen if you are outside in the sun. All right, so with the Lenovo, on a sunny day, if I'm in the car, I have a little bit of an issue viewing at 300 nits. All right, so that's just to let you know, a little bit of an issue. You will see at 300 nits, but it's not perfectly bright the way I would have liked it to be. So I would say that this laptop will not be very useful in extremely bright areas at the 215 nit. All right, so it does have some comfort view thing there. Maybe there's some feature to make you feel good, but that's in less than sunny conditions. All right, most people are not going to use it in sunny conditions anyway, so you should be totally fine. But just a heads up, remember, you kind of pay for what you get. I'm saying that, but I have not looked at any of the other laptops to tell you what the nits are for those, but I'll say that. So yeah, it only comes in one color, platinum silver, and it surprisingly comes with an English US backlit keyboard. I always recommend a backlit keyboard, especially for when you have to do work. Even sometimes when the place is, the place has some light, because like if you're working in the night and like the lighting is there, but it's not fully, 100% bright, the backlit keyboard does really help a whole lot. Yeah, so definitely the backlit keyboard, totally fine. Totally awesome to have that in here long ago. Don't know how they didn't do that, but anyways, so $499. Let's have a look at any of the tech specs. What I want to look at in the tech specs is like the USB ports, if they could do that. So you do have what we just went through here, which is on this side here, platinum, silver, blah blah blah. Activate Office. This is a 30-day trial, so you'll probably have to pay for a subscription to have a full version of Office 365. So keep that in mind, that you're paying $500 for the laptop, but if you want the official Office 365, it's going to be like another $50 every year. It might be less depending on what specials are available, so consider that. It also comes with a 30-day trial again of McAfee. I don't recommend McAfee at all. I've used it in the past and it was really terrible at detecting viruses. So I would suggest you get a better antivirus. A lot of people swear by like Avast and all these other ones. I use AVG. AVG has been really, really fine for years. So you could check that out. There's a free version of that available on the internet. But if you want to pay and help them out, you could do that as well. And there's a protection. So 1 year basic on-site service means that you have like 1 year warranty basically there. That is, 1 year warranty is like not really much. And chances are, if you are allowed to get more than 1 year warranty, the price of it is probably going to go up by another $100 or so. But I always say, with the Dells, probably better to have 3 to 4 years. If you could go up to 4 years or 5 years warranty, have it, because I mean, you probably wouldn't want to service that laptop if something goes wrong. These NVMe drives in general, this is not anything with Dell, NVMe drives are not entirely reliable. It could give you a month of use, it could give you a year of use, and it could fail right after the year or right before the year. That's just how drives and technology is now. So make sure to get more than 1 year of warranty if you can afford it. All right. Yeah, you see accidental damage. Well, obviously, I never cater for having to throw down stuff on my laptop and stuff like that. I feel like people should be responsible enough to do that. I don't know where some people come from, but anyways, it does. So what we want to get to is this stuff. It only has 2 USB 3.2 gen ports, but that's rather interesting. That's not a lot, I have to say. So, I generally like laptops to come with like at least 3 to 4. You don't always need it, but like for example, if you have like, let's say 2 USB sticks, so you want to copy something from one to the other, and then you want to add maybe like an additional high quality camera, you might want that. It does come with a camera, by the way. I'm just saying if you want like another high quality camera to do like video, YouTube videos, that kind of thing, maybe that's going to be a problem because you're going to use up all. It does have one HDMI, so yeah, it does have a Thunderbolt 4 port with DisplayPort and power delivery. I don't know, is that a new thing? Maybe that's a new style to have Thunderbolt. I don't use Thunderbolt for anything, and I really don't necessarily plan to use Thunderbolt for anything. I can't think of anything I would need it for. You want universal track. Everything else here is kind of standard, so it's fine. There's what? No 4K / 2K output. Huh, that's really odd. Okay, so that's kind of, I would say that's kind of a deal breaker. So maybe see why it's important to look at the tech specs. So what this is basically saying, according to what this is saying, is that if you hook up, there's a HDMI port, and if you hook up the HDMI port to a monitor that supports 4K, it will not output at 4K. Now, monitors that support 4K generally can support lower than 4K, so it will work, but the laptop will never output 4K or 2K output, meaning that 1080p, which was the lower one, let's call that 1K. It isn't really 1K, but it's called like that. It could do that quality, which is totally fine for watching videos and stuff like that. But like, I mean, if you're a movie fan, and you probably stream on Netflix, you will not be able to get like the 4K output that Netflix has. So something to keep in mind here. I think that is a little bit sad. I wouldn't expect that from a laptop nowadays. Like I feel like most laptops nowadays can output can output 4K video. I'm surprised because I'm pretty sure this processor can handle it. So I don't know why they did that. I know that it's a cut cost, but like $499 is I mean, it's not the most expensive laptop, but it's not cheap either. So Dell, what are you guys doing? All right, but anyways, you see that's I guess that's how they catch people that don't know about, you know, don't know enough about laptops, and they just buy it and it's like, okay, well, you know, whatever. But yeah, this should be more than that, generally speaking. Surprised that it isn't. Anyway, so it has it has a SD card slot. Okay, that's nice that it can, so a slot to read SD cards. That's good. You know, if you take your cameras and you still have like DSLR cameras and stuff like that uses the physical card, you could read that, so that's good. And it does come with a 1080p 30 FPS FHD camera. Now these things is really here or there when it comes to cameras. Look at this camera. This camera is like a 1080p camera, and look at the quality of this camera. It's really terrible. You know, you could see the quality of the camera is really terrible. But yeah, so this one I can't vouch for or give you an advice on this, except to say that the only way to see this one is to probably look at another review and see what the cameras look like. And even then, there's no way that it might be exact. Well, not no way. There's that, you know, don't even trust that. You probably should have a look at it when you go into the store and have a look at it, right? If you're buying it from the store. It comes with audio. I don't know. I'm not much into the audio stuff, but the 2.5 watts. Okay, fine, normal standard stuff. The shell is aluminum. That's good. Aluminum does not mean it won't dent. So be mindful that if your laptop hits something really jagged, it will dent, right? It comes in silver, precision touchpads, not standard stuff. It does come with the Wi-Fi module. Is a Wi-Fi 6E module, which is good. That's kind of like more of the later technology Wi-Fi. Does it really matter so much? Maybe not to the average person, but like if you're talking about you want to get like gigabit speeds on over your Wi-Fi, you would obviously have to have gigabit internet connection altogether. So you see, it all depends, right? But yeah, Wi-Fi is like, this Wi-Fi 6 thing is kind of like more the latest. Battery life, really good. It says up to 11 hours. That's not bad. That's not bad. 11 hours, I mean, it's come a long way. I remember my first laptop lasted like 1 hour. That's really long ago. But yeah, even compared to like the Lenovo that I have, which is a Ryzen 5, this is, that only lasts about 7 hours. So this is 11 hours is really good for, you know, full day, pretty much full day work use. Assuming it's not gaming and stuff like that. Gaming will use more yeah, but you're not going to use this for gaming anyways, really. So yeah, and that's pretty much it. Standard stuff. Overall, as a techie, I'll tell you why I wouldn't particularly purchase it. I wouldn't particularly purchase it because it only has the 2 USB ports. I have no use for the Thunderbolt, and because the HDMI only outputs 1080p. I would prefer if it could go higher than that. Just because, like, if I have to do video, you know, if I have to do rendering videos and stuff like that, and I have to render at a higher rate, I would want to do that. Other than that, perfect, pretty decent for student, someone who's not really too much into video editing, that kind of thing. This seems totally fine. Can you get cheaper laptops? Probably. For this price, I think you should shop around, because I mean, Dell usually has pretty good support. Like if something goes wrong and you pay for your warranty, stuff like that is good. So that's why I would recommend Dell for someone like that who knows nothing about computers. You give them back it, they fix it, they bring it back for you. Do it for that. Other than that, you could probably look around for, I don't know, I was going to say cheaper laptops, but now when I think about it, it does have DDR5 memory, which is fast memory, really fast memory. So I would say it's still a good buy. Still a good buy with the exception of those two things. For $499, can't go wrong there. And I think that's all that I have for this one. Don't particularly like the look. I think when I look at it as well too, it's a little bit thick, but definitely doable for like a first laptop. Oh, I actually do see, I don't know, this Thunderbolt. Maybe that is the Thunderbolt port. Yeah. yeah, so it's not one of the thinnest laptops, but again, you know, if you're going to buy this for your kids, you should be fine with it. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for viewing, and I'll be probably reviewing some others, but you could probably just let me know, and I could create a video for you guys by reviewing the laptop and at least sharing my opinion on what I think about it. With that being said, thanks so much for viewing. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again soon on another episode of RTHD coming to your YouTube screen. Hey, you. Take care. Bye-bye.